This war is between Israel and Hamas, but backing them are two sworn rivals, the United States and Iran. In many ways, they're already fighting. Iran has proxies all over West Asia, like in Lebanon, Yemen, and Iraq. And these proxies have been targeting U.S. assets. We've seen drone attacks on bases in Syria and Iraq, at least 16 of them in the last 1 week. In each case, the U.S. forces acted in defense. They shot down the drones. But today they went on the offensive. U.S. fighter jets struck down 2 storage facilities in Syria, places where weapons are stored. These facilities were used by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. So the U.S. destroyed them. It comes after Joe Biden issued a warning to Iran. The White House says it was a direct message to the supreme leader of Iran, a warning to stay away from American troops. If true, it's a rare move. But Iran says no such message has been received. Here's a statement by their presidential aide. It says, if Biden thinks that he warned Iran, he should ask his team to show him the text of the messages. I'm guessing the airstrikes did just that. But Iran is not backing down. Their foreign minister issued a threat of his own, that too at the United Nations. He said if the attacks on Gaza continue, even the U.S. will not be spared.
I say frankly to the American statesmen who are now managing the genocide in Palestine that we do not welcome to expansion of the war in the region. But I warn, if the genocide in Gaza continues, they will not be spared from this fire. It is our home, and West Asia is our region.
Tough words there, but how serious is this threat? To understand that, let's look at 2 things. 1, the US deployments in West Asia, and 2, Iranian proxies. Let's start with the deployments. The US has more than 30,000 troops in the region, 30,000. Yesterday, they sent 900 more. The largest presence is in Qatar. Around 8,000 US soldiers are in the Al Udeid base. Iraq has around 2,500 US soldiers. Syria has just 900 of them. Saudi Arabia and the UAE also have a sizable presence. Around 2,700 in Saudi Arabia and around 2,000 in the UAE. Then you have Jordan, another key ally of the US in the region. Jordan hosts around 2,800 American soldiers. Plus, there are troops in Turkey, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Egypt, basically all over West Asia. There are American soldiers all over West Asia, and these soldiers are backed by some major firepower. We'll stick to the latest deployments. You have 2 carrier strike groups in the Eastern Mediterranean, the USS Gerald Ford and the USS Dwight Eisenhower. THAAD missiles have been sent to Saudi Arabia. Patriot missiles have been deployed in Kuwait, Jordan, and Iraq. And an extra squadron of F-16 jets has also been deployed. Like I said, these are all recent deployments. Now let's look at Iran. Their West Asian presence is not direct. It is via proxy groups, like the Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, the Badr organization in Iraq, and the Liva Fatemiyun in Syria. We're talking about thousands of fighters here. The Hezbollah alone claims to have 100,000, 1 lakh fighters. They cannot match America's military quality. But like Iran's foreign minister said, it is their home. And home advantage counts. If you look back at history, Iran and the US have had an interesting relationship. At one point, they were allies, Iran and the US. In 1953, the US and the UK plotted a coup in Iran. They ousted the then Iranian prime minister. His name was Mohammad Mossadegh. And the reason was oil. Mossadegh had nationalized the Anglo-Persian Oil Company. He wanted the West out. So the CIA decided to topple him. In his place, they brought back Iran's Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Unlike Mossadegh, he was friendly to the West. For the next 3 decades, there was great cooperation. In 1957, Iran and the US signed a nuclear agreement. In fact, the US taught nuclear technology to Iran. They also gave them reactors and fuel. And look how it's backfired. Today, Washington is trying to shut down Iran's nuclear program. Their era of cooperation ended in 1979 with the Iranian Revolution. That's when the Ayatollah captured power. The Shah of Iran fled the country. The same year, 52 Americans were taken hostage at the US Embassy in Tehran. Guess how long they were held? 444 days. After sanctions, freezes and threats, they were released. But the relations were spoiled. Today, Washington and Tehran have no formal relations. Their main issue is Iran's nuclear program. Joe Biden came to power promising to revive the nuclear deal. But after this war, good luck. Recent events will give Iranian hardliners more power. They will see it as more reason to have nuclear weapons.